everyone, it's Melissa with another craft activity for you. Today I thought I would show you how to make wish bracelets. These are a great activity for the end of summer. They always remind me of summer camp and exchanging with my friends. They're super easy to make and only require a few materials, and once you start getting going on them, it's really fun and easy to make a bunch of them to exchange with your friends. So for today's craft, you're going to need only a couple things. The first thing you'll need is hemp cord or a cotton cord. I highly recommend using like a jewelry grade one. They can be found easily at any craft store or online. This is some I had laying around my house. You're going to need some seed beads of basically a size that's going to match your cord. I have this variety pack that I had, and the beads are a little bit big for the cord that I have, but A, that makes it easier for you guys to see it on camera, and B, as long as the beads fit on the cord, it's pretty easy to kind of play with the sizes. The other things you will need are a pair of scissors to cut the cord. I'm going to be using some masking tape today to tape the cord down to my table as I'm braiding it, and you can do that, or you can use a clipboard or a safety pin to secure it, like a friendship bracelet type of thing. And you're also going to probably want a ruler, or in my case I have my handy dandy mini measuring tape. But once you have all of that, you're ready to get started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is set up your materials. I have picked out my seed beads. The thing about seed beads is they are notorious for being not terribly uniform, so you are going to want to make sure you have beads that are about the same size, have about the same size hole, and definitely have a hole all the way through them. So traditionally, there are 7 beads in a wish bracelet, so I've picked out alternating blue and white beads. The next thing you're going to want to do is cut 3 pieces of your hemp cord. I have cut my cord 14 inches long, each piece. That is a number that is going to vary depending on your wrist size. I find that 14 inches is perfect for mine. If you were to, say, make this into an anklet, you'd probably want to start somewhere closer to 18 inches, but because I'm just going to do a bracelet today, I only did 14. Again, you might want to change that depending on the size of your wrist, but 14 is usually a good place to start. You're going to take your 3 cords, and you're going to want to make sure that they line up pretty nicely at the top. And then you are going to make a knot, just a regular knot. You're going to want that knot to be about 2 inches down the cord, and this is where your tape measure or ruler comes in as well. You can always check it there. It doesn't have to be perfect, but about around 2.5 inches is ideal. So once you figure out where that is, you can go ahead and tighten that knot. I like to pull on the strands individually to make sure the knot is as tight as possible, because you definitely don't want this to start unraveling as you go. And once you have that knot at the top, you can go ahead and take a piece of masking tape or your clipboard or your safety pin, and you're going to want to attach it, in my case, to the table, and make sure it's nice and secure, because you don't want it shifting around. Once you have your knot and string firmly secured, you are going to want to lay out your strings and start just a very simple 3-strand braid. If you don't know how to braid, this is a really great way to learn how to, because hemp is pretty contained. You're not going to lose it like you would if you were trying to braid someone's hair or something like that. You're going to start from the right, cross over to the middle, take from the left, cross over to the middle, and you're going to keep doing that, and you're going to move the strings so what was in the middle, as you move the next one over, moves to the outside. You're going to want to braid, make sure that it stays down. My tape seems to be having some trouble today, but I can always redo it. You're going to want to braid until it's about 2.5, 3 inches long. It's going to depend on how long you need it for your wrist or your ankle and how many beads you're going to be putting on. Alright, so I'm going to take my tape measure here and just double check. It's about 2.5 inches long for that braid, so I'm going to start putting my beads on. I've laid them out in the order I'd like them, so at this point, it's just a matter of putting the beads on. You're going to take your right strand and go ahead and put the bead on the strand and bring it all the way down to the braid. What you're then going to do is cross that right strand over and put the bead right up snug next to the braid. So it should still be, the strand should still be crossing over, and then the bead comes right up next to it. So the bead is like sitting right on top of the braid. You're then going to take the left strand and continue braiding across like normal. So take the left strand and put it in the middle. And when you pull it kind of tight, you want to make sure your braid is nice and tight here. You're going to let that left strand sit right up against the bottom of that bead. You're then going to take your new right strand and thread another bead and do the exact same thing. Bring the right strand over that the bead is on until it's sitting right in the middle of that braid. Then take the left strand, have it sit right underneath so it's holding it in place, and keep going. Alright, so you can see I've put my beads on, and the important thing to do is just make sure that the braiding as you go is snug up right against the bead to hold them in place. If it's too loose, the beads will fall out and then you'll have to start over. Once you've put all of your beads on, you're going to just pick up braiding like normal. So start from the right, bring it on over to the middle, then go for the left. If a bead pops out, like mine just did, you just need to go back a little bit and reset it in. So right over, left over, and keep going until your braided part on the bottom is as long as whatever length you made the top. Alright, so my braid is as long at the bottom as it is the top. So I'm ready to knot off the bottom, just like the top. It's just a regular, simple knot. And you want to make sure you're having that knot go snug right up to the end of the braid. If you wanted to, you could braid a little extra on the bottom and then have the knot overlap the braid just to give it a little more strength. But once you do that, you are all finished with your bracelet. You're going to want to make sure that braid is nice and tight, the knots are nice and tight, but then it's ready to wear. So here is my finished wish bracelet. As you can see, I've got a nice tight braid right here with a knot at both ends. And that's really important. You want to make sure that your braid is nice and tight so it's not going to unravel or anything or break really easily. And then I have my 7 beads interspersed in my braid. So the way that these work is when you tie the bracelet on, and again, you can either make them for yourself or exchange them with friends, you're going to make a wish when you tie it on. And the lore is that if you make that wish and once the bracelet breaks and all the beads fall off, that wish will come true. I don't know if you want to believe that, but they are really fun to make. And like I said, when you start doing it and you get the hang of it, it's really easy to make a bunch of them. I have definitely made a bunch of them. You can, vary colors. You can vary patterns. I have a rainbow one here that I really love. You can also add more than 7 beads. 7 is just the traditional number, I think, because it's a lucky number. But I have one here that I put like 11 or 12 on. And that looks really pretty when it's on. You can do as many as you'd like or as few as you like. But there you go. That's how you make wish bracelets. So that's it for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it and thank you for watching. Bye!